Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't just Madrid's new signing, he's a cheat code. Madrid haven't had an attacking weapon like this at fullback since Marcelo. They haven't had a defender that can strike the ball like this since Roberto Carlos. Trent is a player who completely changed the way football looks at the fullback position.
I've never seen anything like it. I don't know how you do it.
Thank you.
He revolutionized it. He isn't just a defender who attacks, he's a playmaker who just happens to start at right back.
In terms of right backs now, I've never seen anything like that in terms of the quality that goes into the box, but consistently.
And now he's gonna do it for Los Blancos. He already has experience hurting Barca. He already has won a Champions League. But like all great players, he wants more.
Won the Premier League, won the Champions League. He's an amazing young player.
And he's coming to the one place where he can achieve that. From the streets of Liverpool to the bright lights of the Bernabeu, this is the story of Real Madrid's newest Galactico.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, Liverpool scouser. Now Alexander-Arnold, and he scored! It's another stellar moment from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Absolutely brilliant.
He's not just your ordinary fullback. He's the type of fullback that probably comes along every 10, 20 years because he's different. As I said, he's unique and he's a very special talent that will, of course, leave a huge void to be filled.
His talent and ability on the ball is what made him stand out at a young age.
When did you know you were good? Like your right foot is amazing. Because like now I'm watching you. When I see you get ready to wind up, when there's space in front of you and there's space behind, I know it's getting there. Where did that come from?
I think it was just like I just said, playing all the time. When I was playing, I was practicing.
Trent joined the Liverpool Youth Academy at the age of 6.
I remember going. And I remember stood on the fence and I used to cry every time.
What was you crying for?
To play. But they said I was too young. They said I was 4. And he must have been about 8. I must have been about 4.
Yeah.
No, you gotta wait till you're 6. You gotta wait till you're 6.
It was during his time in the academy where Trent was introduced to the fullback role as he was converted from a wide midfielder to a right back.
That's when, the decision to transition into a right back from a midfielder, a role higher up the pitch to potentially changing into right back and going down that route was first conjured up.
Even that early on, it was obvious Trent was a prodigy.
16, 17 was when I started to believe I was really good.
In fact, Steven Gerrard even wrote about him in his autobiography.
Trent has a terrific chance of making it as a top professional. Trent is another Scouser, and apparently, just as I tried to be John Barnes and Steve McMahon, he grew up pretending to be me.
Yeah, it was Stevie G.
From the book?
Mm-hmm. Bit of a chat with Gerrard, and obviously his advice was really helpful because he's obviously an idol of mine. And
great words to hear from an absolute Liverpool legend. Trent rose through the academy quickly, his name becoming more and more known within Liverpool. He ended up being selected in the first team squad by manager Brendan Rodgers for the team's final preseason friendly against Swindon Town. Trent's official debut wouldn't be until the 25th of October 2016, starting in the 4th round of the EFL Cup. Although he got a yellow card and only played 68 minutes, it was obvious that Trent had something special. He was rewarded with a new long-term contract in November.
How satisfied would you say you were with the last 12 months, Trent?
More than satisfied.
Locking down Trent for the future was an excellent decision by the Liverpool board, and they were immediately rewarded for their decision. In that same month, Trent was named the man of the match for his performance against Leeds United in the EFL Cup, where he recorded his first of many assists. A beautiful cross that found Divock Origi, who put the ball in the back of the net. Barcelona fans, you might have PTSD from watching that goal.
He's been here since he was 6, and he spotted that!
The way Trent was whipping in these crosses with such an amazing technique at such a young age, people knew they were seeing greatness. But the question remained, how good can he be defensively?
It's almost like he's trying to gain his performance, win his performance, get his brownie points or whatever. From an attacking point of view at the moment, it's almost like a goal will deflect, certain mistakes that he's possibly made from a defensive point of view.
Trent made his Premier League debut on the 14th of December 2016. He would go on to make 11 more appearances for Liverpool in all competitions, winning Liverpool's Young Player of the Season award. At the start of the 2017-2018 season, Trent got the opportunity of a lifetime when Nathaniel Clyne got injured. An opportunity is all Trent needed. He scored his first goal for the club when he struck home a free kick in the Champions League playoff round against 1899 Hoffenheim. You know you have struck the ball cleanly when the goalkeeper doesn't even bother diving to save it. That goal also made him the third youngest player to score on his European debut for Liverpool after Michael Owen and David Fairclough. Trent scored again in the Champions League, this time in a 7-0 win. It was a long shot that took a massive deflection, but hey, they all count the same. He then scored his first Premier League goal the day after Christmas against Swansea in a dominant 5-0 win. So far, it had been all sunshine and rainbows. Who doesn't want to see a teenager rise through the academy and bang in goals for his boyhood club? In March of 2018, however, we began to see criticism towards Trent's game. Trent is by no means a bad defender, but at times, he is below the average of what you expect from a top-end Premier League right back. In back-to-back weeks, he struggled against Zaha and Marcus Rashford. These are difficult wingers to play against for any right back, but Trent was seriously getting exposed.
But now, it's every game now. There's problems down that side, and they're finding it hard to cover for him now.
These performances, though, didn't change Klopp's mind as he started Trent in the quarterfinals of the Champions League against Manchester City. This was the biggest of occasions. There would be nowhere for Trent to hide. With the world watching, Trent put in a man-of-the-match performance that helped Liverpool win the first leg 3-0. Not only had they won, but Trent had completely pocketed Leroy Sané. This was by no means an easy task. Sané is rapid and one of the best 1v1 wingers in the modern game. But Trent kept him quiet all night. He kept up his solid performances in the reverse fixture as well, helping Liverpool win 5-1 on aggregate and get to the semi-finals of the Champions League for the first time in 10 years.
If you take Trent, if you look at his age and the magnitude of the game over the both legs, who he was up against, I think he has to be the star man over two legs.
Because after coming off the back of two poor games where he'd had two big mistakes that cost goals for Liverpool, to come into this under that pressure and produce a performance like that, and really 1v1 especially, he was going out there brave on the front foot, defending against a super talent in Sané, and he looked so comfortable. Not only defensively was he fantastic, but when he had the ball, his distribution into front areas, into finding a teammate, was superb for a young boy.
Liverpool ended up beating Roma in the semi-finals to reach the Champions League final, where Trent was faced with his biggest challenge yet, defending Cristiano Ronaldo. While Liverpool lost the final, it wasn't because of Trent. He kept Ronaldo quiet the entire game, and the loss was more on Karius and Bale's greatness than anything else. Trent ended up winning the Liverpool Young Player of the Season award for the second season in a row, and was also nominated for the Golden Boy Award, where he came second to Ajax defender Matthijs de Ligt. Despite not winning the award, the world was beginning to take notice of what Trent was doing at right back. I think a lot of people forget these achievements in Trent's career. When he defends well against the best wingers in the world, it flies under the radar. You don't start a Champions League final at the age of 20 if you aren't a generational talent. If you want someone more defensive minded, you might go for a Ben White or a Kyle Walker. But those guys will eventually make a mistake or get beaten at one point as well. The difference? Neither of them can do what Trent does on the other end. Trent continued his good form into the 2019 season. He was one of the 10 players nominated for the Copa Trophy, an award presented by France Football to the best young player under the age of 21. Although he only finished 6th in the voting, it was clear that his reputation was beginning to grow. In a world where people only talk about attackers, it was nice to see a right back be in the conversation for the best player. His age and ability made it clear that he was the most valuable fullback in the world, and he showed it on the 27th of February in 2019, becoming the youngest player to record 3 assists in a single Premier League match. He assisted Mane twice.
That is cross. Mane, brilliant moment of absolute inspiration and class. Sadio Mane's made it 2-0.
And Van Dijk once.
Goals up tonight, made that 3.
Helping Liverpool defeat Watford 5-0. How many other fullbacks are getting 3 assists like this in one game? Less than 2 months later, he became the 5th youngest player to reach 50 Premier League appearances for the club, behind Michael Owen, Raheem Sterling, Robbie Fowler, and Gerrard, when he started in a 3-1 win over Southampton. Pretty elite company to be a part of. Later in April, he was nominated for the PFA Young Player of the Year award, and was later named in the PFA Team of the Year alongside his Liverpool teammates Van Dijk, Mane, and Robertson. Trent's creativity and chance creation was an essential part of why Liverpool won the Champions League and got 97 points in the Premier League in the 2019 season. I mean, Trent broke the Premier League record for the most assists by a defender in a season with 12. 12 assists is impressive no matter where you play on the pitch, and Trent was doing it from right back. I, of course, can't talk about assists in the 2019 season and not bring up his corner taken quickly for Origi's winning goal to help Liverpool come back and beat Barcelona in the second leg of the Champions League.
The corner that he took against Barcelona. Because that was unbelievable, wasn't it? I mean, talk about being ahead of your time. I mean, he was, what was he at the time, 21?
I was out there, I was commentating for Radio 5 on that game.
I was there
and
too.
you could see it, and you could just see him 3 seconds ahead of everyone else.
So clever, wasn't he? You just see him just have a corner of his eye, and then he suddenly went bam, bam.
These are historic moments created by a gem of a player. A fullback that can create at the same level as a center attacking midfielder. I don't think people realize how ridiculous that is. After starting in the Champions League final against Tottenham, Trent became the youngest player to start in 2 successive finals in the competition. He was later named in the UEFA Team of the Season and nominated for the Defender of the Season award. By the 2020 season, Trent had cemented himself as the best right back in the world. I mean, just look at the goal he scored against Chelsea, an absolute rocket into the back of the net. This was later nominated for Goal of the Season. The next month after this goal, Trent was nominated for the 2019 Ballon d'Or. Do you guys understand how good you have to be in order to even be nominated as a defender? Very few fullbacks have made this list at all, let alone doing so at the age of 21. On the 2nd of November, he became the 4th youngest player to reach 100 appearances for Liverpool. He made the occasion that much more special by assisting the game-winning goal by Sadio Mane, a lovely cross at the near post. Liverpool ended up winning the Premier League this season.
This is the one that we all wanted as fans, as players, as a club. I'd swap every medal I've got just to have this one round my neck.
With Trent being awarded the Premier League Young Player of the Season award, the PFA Young Player of the Year accolade, and was named in the PFA Team of the Year. He was Liverpool's X Factor, the weapon that they had that nobody else could compete with. A right back who can create chances for you from wide positions, from corners, from set pieces. Can't imagine any other player being able to make Klopp's tactical system of constant attack come to life the way Trent did. This is the definition of generational. Unfortunately for Trent, life after the 2020 season was rockier. With Liverpool winning less as a team, a bigger focus had been made onto Trent's weaknesses, mainly his lazy defending.
It's been asked a lot, hasn't it, about Trent Arnold? I mean, he's one of the best fullbacks going forward, but he's been questioned, hasn't he, a lot by pundits and ex-players about his defending qualities. And
one-on-one defending and positional sense, he has some work to do.
He was exposed in Liverpool's 3-1 loss to Madrid in the 2021 Champions League quarterfinals.
Vinicius Jr. tore Trent apart.
A year later, Trent was caught sleeping on the biggest stage, in the Champions League final, where he completely left Vinny wide open and he tapped the ball in. Against Arsenal, he made a shocking decision to run at Martinelli and then stand there when he didn't win the ball, leading to a Saka goal. Against Napoli in the Champions League, Cavaro was cooking him left and right. Against Brighton, Mitoma was having a field day. All this scrutiny ended up causing Gareth Southgate to not select Trent for the 2022 World Cup qualifications.
Gareth Southgate has already kind of made a decision with Trent. In the Euros, you saw that he wasn't one of the first names on the team sheet.
Hazard, Mbappe, Sané, Jota, Ronaldo. Who do they want to play against? James, Walker, or Trent? They'll say, I'll let Trent go forward, he'll leave space in behind me, I'll have Trent.
Noticed this year there's been a huge drop-off in terms of his defensive responsibilities. I've seen him go forward fast, not run back quick enough.
Although he was a part of the 26-man squad at the actual World Cup, he only made 1 appearance against Wales.
It seems such a waste. When you've got a talent who's this good, to just not play him, I don't understand how that's possible.
In 2023, Vinny terrorized Trent again in the Champions League as Real Madrid destroyed Liverpool 6-2. In 2024, Trent was selected for the Euros, but Southgate didn't have faith in him as a fullback as he tried to use Trent as a central midfielder.
Yeah, we spoke before the June camp, and he just expressed how he wanted to see me playing in the middle of the pitch and see if it could work.
Let's talk midfield though, first of all, in selection. Trent Alexander-Arnold, we're hearing in midfield alongside Declan Rice.
While his passing and shooting can work in the center of the park, it never made sense to play the best right back in the world out of position. Southgate had a player who could be an X factor in games, but decided to use him poorly, putting England at a disadvantage. Meanwhile, rock-solid Kyle Walker ended up having a rough tournament and provided little to nothing on the attacking end. A huge missed opportunity.
Can you envisage a scenario where England continue to not have him as like first pick? Or at least in the team somewhere, because I just see such an extraordinary talent.
Why would you make the best right back in the world a midfielder? That's absolutely, I don't understand.
Trent pushed through the criticism and the poor performances as he continued to shine for Liverpool. Klopp switched him to an inverted fullback role that saw him push further up the field, and it worked perfectly.
Last season was a season I thought to myself, I'm not going through that again, but it's important because, like you said, once you come out of it, happy on now, whatever I go through now between now and the end of my career, I'll be able to handle it.
That tactical change boosted Liverpool's form as Trent became the first person to assist a goal in 5 consecutive Premier League matches twice. Trent isn't perfect, but I feel like that's the case for most fullbacks. Pick any defender, and over the course of their career, you can make a highlight of the number of times they have been cooked by the opposing attacker. While Trent might not be as complete as your Zanettis, Cafus, and Lams, he can do things on the attacking side that neither of those guys could. Even guys like Dani Alves and Marcelo couldn't strike a ball the way Trent can. So as the world debates his strengths and weaknesses, let us not lose sight of the bigger picture. Trent is more than just a footballer. He is a visionary, a symbol of change, an example that the beautiful game is always evolving. Whether you cheer for him or against him, whether you want him as your team's right back or not, one thing remains true. Trent is doing something few footballers have done before.